Hello, Happy New Year, because it's the first video I'm filming of the new year. It's gonna be what I read in December 2022, and yeah, I'd also just realized that I have never said my name in any of these videos recently. So hello, welcome, I am Jane. Well, please have people here. I literally just talk about books and nonsense, so welcome if you like that. Again, I'm gonna try to look here instead of here. We're gonna try our best. I'm also just coming off of a cold, so I apologize for my throat still. If it's a little funky, that is why. Sorry. The theme of this month, because there is a theme that I didn't realize I was gonna have, but I'm gonna say it. Read whatever I have that I have not read yet. That's a lot of stuff. So you'll see the really weird random things that I've read this month. And yeah, let's get into it. The first book I read was actually an ebook, so I do not have it physically with me at the moment, was Belladonna by Adelyne Grace. It was 4.5 stars, fantasy, dark, YA, mysterious, and 400 pages. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was quite dark. It follows a girl, I forget her name. It follows this girl who, when she's a baby, her entire family, who's quite rich and well off, gets poisoned. By, we don't know who, but they get poisoned, they all die, but she doesn't die. And then death kind of lingers around her whole life as she gets passed to guardian, and all the guardians die. Kind of like a series of unfortunate events kind of thing happening. And then we get picked up as she leaves one family and goes into a new one. And yeah, and we have kind of a mystery we have to solve. It's very, very good. I think it's a duology with Foxglove, I think the next one's called, coming out I think this year sometime. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's very good and I would recommend that book. The next one I read, I do own and I do love a lot, is the Atlas 6. I want to preface it by saying the first 50-60% of the book is quite slow. Or it could have just been me when I was reading it during exam season, so yeah. I do want to take a point. It's very beautifully done. The artwork, the hardcover is like that. There's like papers inside like that. And then if you go to any front page, any chapter cover, it has a character. It has 6 characters, different points of view. It's about this world. It's very similar to ours, but except magic's not unheard of. Magic's common, and not common, but magic's something people have and go to university for, pretty much. And people specialize in different things, but you're kind of born with it. You're not you don't get to choose it, you're born with it. I think that's how it goes. And then 6 of these people who either just graduate university or around that same age get chosen to enter the society. And then they kind of have to decide, then they kind of have to go through, and only 5 of them are allowed to stay in the society, one of them has to leave. But yeah, you don't really know what happens. It's very good. I would recommend, and I am so sad that I don't have the second book. But yeah, that's that one. It's very good, and I would recommend. Oh, and it's by Olivia Blake. Did I say any of the stuff? It's 375 pages, and I gave 4.25 stars. I don't know if I said that. The next book I read was not a book. It is National Geographic, Atlas of the Roman World. I got a bunch of magazines for Christmas for a bunch of years in my stocking. So you're gonna see quite a few of them this month, or in this video. As I said in my Christmas haul, I love mythology. I love ancient worlds. I love civilizations. I think they're so cool and interesting to learn about. I like seeing how people lived, what they believed in. I think it's all very interesting. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I really don't. It's just a good book. I got the chance in the summer to go to Rome, so I feel like it's cool too to see things read about things that I've seen, if that makes sense. But even if I didn't, I would still enjoy this immensely. And yeah, I don't know why I'm rambling. If you want to learn about anything, just read National Geographic about it. It is very informative. So yeah, and they're all 95 pages, so it's a good length. The next one I read, I'm sorry I'm rambling and I'm stuttering and I'm tired. It is New Year's Day. I stayed up till midnight. I don't do that normally. Science of the Supernatural, another National Geographic book. It's informative and it's 95 pages and I gave it 4 stars. Other one I gave 4.5 stars because I love mythology that much. This one is a little more, I think I have to explain it more. It's about all things witchcrafty and like magic-y, and about how things are in the world and like when witchcraft was first kind of introduced into the world from like ancient days to modern days with like not paganism, sorry. No, I think I talked about paganism actually in here. I could be wrong. I'm like 90% sure something about paganism. Well, it's like astrology, horoscopes. We have stuff like the Egyptians. There's stuff about different religions in here as well. I think it's with the voodooism, I think it was called. Talks about vampires and all that fun stuff is in here. It's really interesting and I really enjoyed it. And I would highly recommend it if you want to learn something new and interesting. Okay, next book I read. Simpsons Comics, Straight Back. I gave this 3.5 stars. It is by Matt Groening. I don't know what to say. If you like The Simpsons and you want to be in calm form, read it. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's nothing too serious. You need a little break from life or stress, or just read a comic book. Read this. It's fun. I really don't know what to say. The next book, I have exactly the same thing to say. In the Big Beefy Book of Bart Simpson. Yeah, by Matt Groening. 3.5 stars. Funny. This is 118 pages, so you know, it's a good sized book. Again, if you want to take a break, I was reading these when I was studying for my exams, just to have something fun and relaxing to do and not too serious to get into. Yeah, would recommend. Next one, Harry Potter 20 Years of Magic. I got this a few years ago for Christmas as well. It's by, I think it's the Tenniel Legends, I think. Yeah, it was cool to read. It's 98 pages. It's literally just about the behind the scenes and the history of how Harry Potter kind of came to be, which I really enjoy the story of Harry Potter. I'm a big fan of it. Not a J.K. Rowling, but I'm a really big fan of Harry Potter. I grew up on it. I watched the movie before I could even read really books. So yeah, it's a really big part of my childhood, and I do really appreciate this book. Yeah, it's, if you enjoy behind the scenes of stories and really want to behind the scenes, I would recommend this type of stuff. The next book I read is Jeeves and the Yuletide Spirit and Other Short Stories by P.G. Woodhouse. I don't really know how to say your name. I'm very sorry. 3.75 stars. Funny, medium pace, 368 pages. It's really, again, it's something lighthearted. This month was a bunch of lightheartedness for the most part, nothing too serious because I had lots of exams and stuff going on. It takes place about, I think, in like the olden like English days when there was like when people had lots of servants and maids and like people would talk a certain way, and you know, before cell phones. Yeah, that time. But yeah, it was really good. I recommend. My roommate told me there was a bunch of other books by this author, but like the whole about Jeeves as well. And I kind of want to read them as well. I might actually get them because I really did enjoy this. And I honestly want to get more short stories and poem books. Because I feel like I own a lot of the same type of book, which is true. And I do love those books I own. I just want to get more books that are different. And this is one of them. So yeah, would recommend. The next book, which is The Simpsons comic book, but make it Christmassy. Simpsons Holiday Humdinger. Again, by Matt Groening. 3.5 stars, funny. It's 144 pages. It's literally just The Simpsons comics, but make it Christmassy. So, yeah. Again, if you want something fun, lighthearted, this would be good. And yes, I'm just throwing my books on the floor because I don't have any room in my desk right now. The next one, this is where we stop getting super light and cheerful and more dark and scary, we have Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. What to say about this? Not my favorite book of the series. I give 3.75 stars. It's slow, fantasy, adventurous, that type of thing. I gave it 3.75 because I don't like the character it follows. It's essentially a novella for the series, in my opinion, that you need to read, or else like 90% of the next book doesn't make any sense. Except I really don't like the character who it follows. He does get redeemed, sorta, but still he's not my favorite. So, yeah. But again, if you like the book series, you have to read it. And there is one section that I would recommend that I do honestly enjoy a lot. So, yeah. Okay, the next one I read what was the next book I read? Sorry, I have it on my, I don't have it, I'm not holding it today because I don't know why. The Traitor's Kiss by Erin Botte. 4 stars, fantasy, romance, YA, slow / medium pace because it's kind of in the middle of the two, and 360 pages. I read this book on an ebook form. It's kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like in a world where it's illegal to get married before you're, I think it's 21, which it takes place in like a fantasy, like medieval setting though, like, you know, with a matchmaker. Like there's a matchmaker, and then there's also like, you know, like these wealthy families trying to like put their kids together to like, you know, become more wealthy or whatever, or more powerful. And there's like a kingdom, there's knights and stuff. Like it's kind of progressive to be like, you can't get married if you're like not an adult. So that's something. I think it's like 18 for women, and then if you're in the army it's 21, but I could be wrong. It was actually pretty good. I just found out while I was writing down the notes for my thing that it is not in fact a standalone like I thought it would. It's actually a series. I don't know how many series it is. I'm gonna look into it later. If I have time, I might read more of them because I did actually enjoy it, but I also liked how it ended. I don't really know if I want to go into it more, if that makes sense. So yeah, 2 more books. Oh, we're almost there. The next one I read was Secrets of Harry Potter, 20 Years of Magic, from the books and the movies. It says 25 Years of Magic. I don't know if this is right. But I gave it 3 stars. Again, I got this for Christmas. 90 pages. Same thing like the other one. I like the behind the scenes. Harry Potter's been a big part of my life forever. And yeah, it just, you know, it was fun. Kind of a fun read while I was studying. Okay, the last book I have to tell you about today is, it's a hefty one. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I finally finished the series. I finished it last night. No, I think it was afternoon actually. Yesterday afternoon. It's 5 stars. Fantasy, tense, adventurous, sad, emotional. 984 pages. I love this book. This is one of my favorite books of the series. It is just everything ties together, everything ends, and it's like intense, but you know you need it. It's a good ending. It's a very good ending to the series. About 1, 2, 3, 4. Of an 8-book series, it's a perfect ending, and I'm counting the novella because I think you should read the novella if you read the series. But yeah, really recommend it. And that's all the books I have to read, to type about. Only 13 books, and it's only 14 minutes long so far. Because most of them I literally had nothing to say about because I don't know how else to explain them to you. I hope that's great. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, if you don't, I hope you had a great just winter break or winter holidays, and happy, like, had a good New Year and everything. And I hope everyone has some fun. And I'll see you in the next video.